no gold is not in her.
Welcome guys, welcome to this video. In this video we are going to create an occurrence counter. It's not going to be very simple, but it's going to be a medium level of program. So here is the example. So I have an AWT, that is user entering, and user wants to know, okay, if how many times A is coming into the data, how many times W is coming into the data, and T coming into the data. Now user can add any kind of content into this text area, and we are going to calculate accordingly. So when I hit submit, we get string has 3 A's, string has 1 W, and string has 4 T's. So if I go back, you can see that string has 3 A's, so which is 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. We have 1 W in this whole string, and we have 4 T's. So you can see that the T's are 4 times. So our program is working. You can have a lot of content here. It's going to give us the exact particular proper results. We're going to use some PHP functions, and we're going to see best practices. So let's get started. Alright, so say here HTML to load the boilerplate of HTML we have here now. Now here we want so I will be using a bit of Bootstrap in this so that we don't have to much work on the style part. So I'm just going to paste the Bootstrap link here. Simply it's a CDN. You can include any CDN you like. So give this page a title. Alright, so simply I'm going to create a form now. So here I am going to use some Bootstrap classes. Don't worry much about them. Let me add an HR here first, then we are going to add the form tag. So now we need to add the fields. So inside it we need to create a div with the class of form enter letter, and we can give a class of form control. This is a Bootstrap class again. Now here we need to provide a box where a user can put a complete text. So it's a div with the content and ID of content. We can use these IDs when we are working with JavaScript or jQuery, but in this case we are not doing much, so not of that use. So here we say div, and with now also class of looks in the browser. So if I refresh the page, we have our page looking good. Now I missed the offset here, so it's going to be offset. That's why it was not in the middle. I add here the same title. I'm just going to copy this, and here if I go here, refresh, looks fine. Now what we can do here is that now we have the form ready, so we need to work on the process. So when a user submits, how it should work. So first of all, when a user clicks, we have the name submit, so we are going to put a check on this. So here on the top of the page I'm going to include the PHP tag. Then we need to do this. So we are going to create an array so that whenever the letters, each letter, we need to get it uniquely. So if user wants to find like how many times F came in the complete paragraph, so this is a single letter, so I want to create an array for it. So I'm going to say here $letter array, and I'm going to set it to empty for now because we will be setting a few values in it. And for the testing, for the starting, I'm just going to give $content, a dummy content, so that first we check from this, then we are going to check from the input. So I just say some content for testing. Alright, so we are going to find the occurrence in the string, and then we are going to replace the string with the this text area layer afterwards. So here we can check if So we want to check that if it is not empty, we need user input in the first place. So we say empty, and we can say not empty, and $_post, and it's going to be letter. So we want to proceed if it is not empty, and that's the main point. If we don't have the user input, there's no way this program is going to work. So we have the letter array, and I want to put all the letters that we get from user input. So what I can do here is we have the $post, and we are getting this from user, right? So here I'm going to use two PHP functions one by one. So first function is the strings underscore split. Now what this does is it is going to split the string into an array. It is going to convert each character into an array, so that this string we are using, for example, then it is going to turn this into array value 1, this into array value 2, this into array value 3. Let's have a look how it looks. So I'm just gonna say here var dump, and I prefer var dump. You can use printr if you want to install the file. Now if I go to the browser, now it is taking the letter, so we need to provide user input in there. So refresh, and we get line 11. Sorry about that. Now go here, refresh. Alright, so I say here sum simply, and I hit submit. So you can see that it broke the sum into S. I can zoom for you. So it's going to keep breaking S, O, M, E. So it's an array of 4. So that's what it did to this. Now we want to make sure that it is a unique array. So for example, if I pass here sum and add s at the end, so we have like s twice, and if I submit here, now we have an array of 5 where we have 2 times s, but we want to check for occurrence of s in the paragraph by the user only once. We want to see how many times s came, so we just want to make sure there's only each value once in this array. So we can use another PHP function, and that function is array underscore unique. Now this function, what it does is it is going to simply remove the second occurrence of the character, so you will have a unique array. So let's see what happens. So here I say sum, and s I at the end of it, I hit submit, we still get array of 4, so it removed the second s, so we have sum here in array. Alright, so now we have letter array. Now we need to work on the content. So what we can do here is we can simply say, alright, $content array, and what I want to do, I want to use this PHP function again. So split. Now for now, we are using this dummy content here. And normally what we need to do is we need to get the content something like this, and we will be doing it once we tested it. So here it's going to be content, but for now I'm going to comment it, and we will make it once the program is working. So I'm just going to get this array of content, going to pass in here, and it is going to give us the array as well. So we can see that. So simply copy this and paste here. Alright, now if we go to the browser and refresh, now you can see that it broke and it's an array of 24. Alright, now we have both arrays. Now we can do this, and we can use these arrays, and we can loop through them, and we can match how many times each letter comes. So let's see how we can do that. So I'm going to create a variable named final count. So we are going to get the occurrences, and these variables are going to be used for that. And I also want an output, and a particular output that is going to be the number of like how many A's we have. For that, I'm going to create an output array. So in a moment it's going to be cleared, so don't worry about it. Just we need these two variables so that we can put values in them. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a loop first of all. So it's going to be for each loop, and in this for each loop I'm going to use the letter array because we have less characters in the array, and this is the array of unique characters. So I'm going to copy this and paste here, and I'm going to say as $index, and then the value $letter, and here inside it we have the value. So if I say var dump, so we should be getting the each letter that we user is passing. So let's see how it shows. So, and to see it properly, what I do, I add here echo pray so that it comes in a visible way. So I don't have any other var dump anywhere, so it's fine. So we should have each letter coming properly. So if I refresh here, so you can see that we have some, and it's SOME, so one by one. So this sum we can use in check. So each time we are getting a single letter, so we can check if this array has that value and how many times this array has that value. So let's see how we can do that. So here we are going to create another loop. It's going to be for loop, and I'm going to say $I is equal to 0, and $I is going to be less than count of, and here we are going to say the content array, so that because we need to run as long as we have the content array have the elements, so we are matching with each content value, and if it is a match we want to do something. So here I'm going to say $I plus plus. Alright, so here now what is going to happen, I'm going to say if $letter. So I'm saying here if $letter, which is these SOME, any of these. So for example, if letter S, so we are saying okay, if letter S is present in this array, like this condition is going to check that. So we're going to say if is equal to $content array, and we are going to pass the index here so that we get each value from this array. So that we are matching if like if S from this array is present in this array, then we want to do something, and that is something is we are going to increase a counter. So we are going to say counter plus plus. Now we don't have counter set, so we can set a counter here. So we can say $counter is equal to 0. All right, so we have a counter now. Now it is going to increase every time it sees any value that is present in this. All right, so we can put all the coming up output, the counts, in a array so that we can output it. So what we can do here in this case, after this for loop where it ends, and why we are doing it here, because each time a letter changes, this loop runs. So we want to run for the next letter, it is going to change here. So we are going to put here $output. All right, and it is an array. So we are going to say here, all right, put this string has, and we can say the count $counter, and we can give a space here and then the letter. All right, so it's going to tell us how many times the letter is in there. Now we need to set this counter to 0, because when the for each loop runs first time, it is going to check for one character. For example, for each runs here S, then it runs a for loop, then it goes for O in for each, and then it runs the for loop, and then it runs for M, and then it runs the for loop. So each time it is changing the character in the loop in for each, it is going to come here. So here we need to make the counter again 0 so that we can get exactly number how many times that particular character is coming in the string. All right, so we are putting it here just like that. Now we can see this, the output of it. So simply I'm going to copy the output array and we're going to put here var dump again, and I'm going to paste this inside it. All right, now if I go here and refresh, so you can see that we have array of 4 where it says S comes 2, O 3, 1. This is not right. Let me see here. Actually it is right. So we have S, string has 2 S's, so we have S here and here. Now if I go to the O, we have 3 O's. We have O here, and O here. And then we have M, which is coming once in a string, so it is here. And then we have 3 E's, which is A, and A. So it's coming just fine. Let's display it a bit correctly. So what I do here, as we are already putting it in an array, so we can loop through. So what I'm going to do here, just gonna remove this, and here in the form we can loop through just below the form, where we have the form here. So I'm gonna say here starting PHP tag, and inside this PHP tag we are going to start if condition, and it's going to be is set, and we're going to say $output array. All right, so we have output array and there is value in it. So for each this output array, and we can say as $output simply, and then we can here display it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to close the PHP tag, start the PHP tag again, and here we're going to say it's a small tag from HTML. I'm going to give it a class of alert, and we're going to say info. All right, and inside it we want to start another PHP tag again, and simply we are going to echo the $output, and that's it. So if I go here and refresh, resend, and we get this string has 2 S's, 3 O's, and 1 M, and 3 E. Now we want to make sure that we are calculating these letters from this text, so we need to replace in our code this, so we are getting the content from here. So I'm just gonna comment this line, and here we can also put a check that if the both of the fields are not empty. So if I say here end, now I can see here, okay, we need the value from both. All right, so let's do that. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna check this now. So I go here and refresh. Now here I'm gonna say A, and here I'm gonna say awesome. Let's see, submit, and we get 3 times. Was it 3 times? So yeah, we have A here, here, and here 3 times. So if I say AWT, so submit, we get 3 A's, 1 W, 4 T's. So if I go back, you can see that we have 4 T's here, here, and here, and 1 W here. So yeah, our code is working just fine. We can use it. I'm going to leave this code file in the description. You can download it, you can even improve it, or if you have a better way to do it, or you want to do it something, you're totally free to do. Thank you for watching. See you next video, and do subscribe and share our work. That helps a lot. Thank you. Goodbye.
And our goal is not in her.